everybody. Good morning, monetizers. Are you excited? Are you ready to monetize? Woo! Turn to your neighbor and say, I am ready to monetize. I am so excited. I'm a deep slut. I am so happy to be here. I'm happy to connect with you. It's going to be an amazing day. We're going to learn, we're going to network, we're going to have important conversations. So thank you so much for being here. It's a Friday. You've taken time out of your businesses. You've taken time out of the things that you would normally do on a Friday to be here. So we really, really appreciate you. Today we are starting off with a fireside chat with Witness Mdaka. He is absolutely amazing. I know that you're going to enjoy our conversation with him. Now, during our fireside chat, it's a three-way conversation. So if Witness and I are talking about something you are interested in, if you want him to go deeper, if you want him to unpack a little bit more on something he talks about, we do have a roaming mic. Don't be shy. Feel free, put up your hand. The mic will come to you and we will be able to engage in conversation. All right? Are we together? No shyness today. We are free, right? Ready to monetize? Excellent, excellent. Witness, thank you so much for being here with us and for this fireside chat conversation. I'm really looking forward to it.
Hi, Hetty. Thank you so much for the invitation and good morning to everyone.
Awesome. So Witness, we started off by doing this great introduction for you, but I often like people to also tell us how they prefer to introduce themselves. Yeah. How do you, when you meet people along the way, introduce yourself to others?
Very interesting question, because sometimes when you are sitting and you are being introduced,
yes,
you hear all these big titles or big things being said.
Yeah.
And you often wonder, is that me?
Yeah.
When did I actually become that person? But for me, how I introduce myself is that I'm a child of God.
Yes.
I happen to be an author. I happen to be in property. I happen to run multiple businesses. But the main thing for me when I introduce myself is that I'm a child of God serving God's other children.
Oh, I love that. Yes. I love that. I love that so much because it's so important to be rooted in something that is even far greater than ourselves. So I think that that's amazing. And Witty, I call him Witty, so please forgive us. You see, this is the thing when you're having conversations with people you work with, you're friends with, you are everything with. Witty, tell us a little bit about who you are, maybe where you grew up, just to give us a little bit of context before we get into the nitty-gritties.
Okay, a little bit of background. I was born in Kandlanani. Right? Kandlanani is a village outside Kiani. I was born in a house because the ambulance was late. And then 8 months after that, my parents were separated. Then I went to stay in a place called Klepgat with my great-grandmother. I lived there for 12 years before I could come stay with my mother in Tembisa in the East Rand. So I frequented Tembisa in Alexander, Klepgat, because my grandmother stayed in Alexander. My mother had a house in Tembisa. And of my grandmother in Klepgat, but she passed on when I was 12. So I frequented those places.
Okay, great. Witness, today our conversation is all about generating multiple streams of income.
Yeah.
And I feel that this is an important conversation to have, especially among our people. People who look like us and who sound like us.
Yeah.
Why is it important for us to have these conversations?
Okay, so maybe perhaps first we need to define what we mean by
yes,
multiple streams of income.
Yes, please.
And the reason is that, often in business or in corporate, because people are educated and they've got degrees, we come with these big terms, right? And we just say multiple streams of income. But I find we need to find a way to simplify things to people.
Yes.
Right? And to break it down to o ka rekisa eng. what can you sell?
Yes.
And selling boils down to two things. You either sell services or you sell products. And by services, we mean what are the core skill sets that you have that you could use in somebody else's life or business and they pay you for that. So what does that speak to? That speaks to problem solving. What's the problem
Yes.
that people have and how can you solve it? And secondly, still leaning on problem solving. What is the product that you can create and sell it to people to solve a specific niche or specific product that they're experiencing? So when we talk about multiple streams of income, I know a lot of people want to focus on what's the stream of income. That's the wrong way. What's the problem? How can I solve it?
Yes.
So for as many problems that you can solve, then you can have as many streams of income as possible, isn't it? You know, you found a problem for Hetty, she's got this specific problem, she's traveling around with the Monetize Your team. Can you become part of their catering team? The question.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right? Can you become part of their transportation team?
Yeah.
What is it that you can look at that another person is doing and say, how can I make what they're doing better so that they can pay me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, this topic of selling is interesting because a lot of us have a complicated relationship with selling. We're either afraid
We think
to sell.
selling is for poor people.
We think it's for poor people. We're embarrassed. Abantu bazothini, yo.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those things. What should our thinking be when it actually comes to selling? Because, you know, when I look at it, we're all selling us all the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's obvious, sometimes it's not obvious, but even in a job interview, you're selling. We're always selling. So how should we approach our mindset towards selling?
So it's a natural part of life. And even those who say, I don't like selling or I don't want to sell, they're constantly selling themselves
Yes.
or they're constantly selling something. It's just that people are selling themselves at the wrong places, right? So you need to figure out where the right place to sell yourself or your product is. And like you said, a lot of people are ashamed of selling, but mainly because we're scared of rejection, right?
Yeah.
We're scared of being rejected and we're scared of being told no. But I find that if you have made it a part of understanding that it's a matter of survival,
Yes.
you have to sell something and you have to sell yourself, then I think perhaps it will be more entrenched in your psyche that you can't be waking up in the morning and not sell something. Something, 100 rand or 200, something.
Yeah.
What have you done today to actually sell something? So I think that being part of your psyche and also understanding that you cannot make money if you don't sell.
Exactly.
Like if you visit any business, right, or within your own business, you know you are busy if the phone is constantly ringing and somebody is looking for something.
Yeah.
But somebody is looking for something because you have put yourself out there to say, I'm selling something. So unless you do that, then you're not going to be busy, and you're not busy. If you're not busy, the business is not going to make money. If the business is not going to make money, then you're not going to pay employees. If you're not paying employees, people are not going to deliver on the product.
Yes.
So it's got a ripple effect,
Yeah.
right? But let's speak to someone who hasn't started anything yet. And forget business. Someone who hasn't sold anything yet at this specific moment. Where do they start?
Yeah.
You know, and for me, the main thing will always be that what is the one thing that you are good at, that you are known for, that other people are able to get from you. Sometimes we are selling, it's just that we give away the services for free.
For free, because we don't realize it's something that we could sell or it's got monetary value.
Yeah, you find the guy is always the MC at funerals. You've seen that, right? Why is the guy not charging? Every time there's a funeral, we want the guy to come speak and MC. But why is the guy not putting a price tag? Because clearly he's good at what he does.
Even to cover transport, guys. You know?
So there's always going to be something that somebody has that other people need. It's just that as black people, we are so ashamed to ask for our money, and we shouldn't be. We are always emceeing people's weddings, emceeing people's parties, emceeing people's funerals, and even going there and to do the family the whole week.
Yeah.
But you don't get paid.
Okay.
Why aren't you getting paid?
Why do we do
I
that?
think it boils down to those specific basics. and saying, you are crying about not having money, but you're providing services for free every day to people. But you're saying, angina man, mara uyasebenza buswe. And bakubiza umahlalela, but umahlalela. But bakubiza but come MC.
Yeah.
And then they don't pay.
Yeah. I think also it might have to do with this thing that we have not been taught that what we are good at can pay us.
Right.
That thing that we're good at, whether it's baking, whether it's making khamer, whether it is whatever it may be, that thing that we are good at doing, it can actually pay us. We don't always see value in what we are good at, and so we then distribute it for free.
Right.
How do we start then overcoming that and start charging?
So, interesting question, right? Before I became a public figure or someone who does things publicly, I obviously started my business as a construction business, and along that period realized that rooms are paying income whether we've got clients or not. Then we converted the construction business into a property development company, into a rental company. Be that as it may, that was private, right? It's work that you're doing on a daily basis. That's your core skill. Then I started writing social media posts, isn't it?
Yes.
And these posts were getting a lot of traction, a lot of followers. Then I asked the people around me, why are so many people following me? And one lady said to me, but you're good at writing, of course they want to follow you.
Yes.
Then I said, if I'm good at writing and people are following me, then I shouldn't be followed for free.
Yes.
Because I'm not interested in being a celebrity for nothing, right? Then I said, okay, I'm gonna write a book.
Yeah.
But you know what I did? I said to people, I'm gonna write a book, but I won't write it unless I've got pre-orders.
Yes.
Then 100 people pre-ordered my book before it existed.
Wow.
Then I was forced to write it because I had 100 clients that paid for the book.
Yes.
But where did the confidence come from? The confidence came from the fact that I gave a service away for free, which was writing these stories, these posts, with different ways in which people could make money, start businesses. And then I said, okay, now that 100 people are saying they are willing to pay, now I'm writing the book.
Yeah.
What was I doing? I was saying my writings are valuable enough to be bought.
Yes.
I could have continued writing for free. I've seen many people that are continuing to write for free on social media. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but there's something wrong with you constantly giving away a service and not charging for it. And within our specific businesses, right, even those that are already running businesses, there are things that you're doing for clients that are quite complimentary and that are free that you could be charging for.
True.
Which speaks to what you were saying, the multiple streams of income. You're providing a specific product, maybe you're transporting it for free. Why aren't you charging for transport?
True. Yeah.
As an example, right? You've made the product, even if you don't make it up, make them blatantly aware that I'm going to charge you for transport, but why don't you factor in that into the price?
Into the pricing, yes, absolutely. I think something that is really, the roaming mind, we've got a hand up this side. I think one thing that is giving me an aha moment from what you're saying is you started writing for free, giving out your knowledge, building that value, giving the value to your community. And once you had nurtured your community, then you were able to start charging. So sometimes, yes, we will have a season of doing things for free in the beginning, just to kind of build our reputation, build the networks and relationships. But once that's done, we have to then graduate to charging as well. All right. Do we have our roaming mic? Okay, it's on its way, it's coming. This is really quite interesting, Witness. Another thing I want to talk about when it comes to multiple streams of income, because I often say to people, when we talk about multiple streams of income, often at times we hear the saying that, you know, the average millionaire has 7 streams of income. And a lot of times we think, oh my goodness, does that mean I must build 7 businesses? I must do 7 new things. I must have 7 sources of capital. My head and my thinking, my creativity must be split in 7 different ways. But what I love is the idea to say, just take that thing you're good at, or that business you are good at, and using just that one thing you're good at, develop multiple ways that you can be paid for that thing.
Yeah, getting me excited.
Uyabona withi? And so for me, I also love the personal brand you've built around Witness Mdaka. That even though professionally you're a property investor, you are a property developer, but you've been able to build your personal brand such that you are also an author. You're also a podcaster. You are also a mentor.
Say best-selling author.
Best-selling, askis, mngani wami.
Can I nisebenzele leyo title?
No, askis. You know, but you're taking this knowledge that you have, these insights that you have, and you are packaging it in different ways, and we're loving it and we're consuming it. Just go deeper for me there on that.
Yeah, so good point, right? And it goes back to what we were saying. We said, what is the thing that you're good at? Your gift.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And then different ways in which you could find and monetize different aspects of your gift. Now I know. I didn't know that. Now my gift is communication.
Yes.
I was a youth pastor. So, which means at church I spoke a lot, isn't it? In public speaking, right? But I also built a business. But within my career as a business person, I then realized that most of the time I'm more effective when I'm communicating. Be it I'm communicating with a team of contractors, with the people that I need to be building. I'm communicating with the banker. I'm communicating with the attorney. Communication, if that's clear and it's done properly, things will get done.
Yes.
Understand? So now I said, okay, I started writing. Then I discovered that I've got a gift of writing. What is that? Still on communication.
Yes.
I could write, right? So I wrote the book. Then the book became a bestseller.
Yes.
Understand? Then I came back and said, people started saying to me, oh, people were stealing my posts on social media. You know that thing of somebody copying your post and saying it's their post, right?
They'll have to do that. Why? It's so annoying.
Then a friend of mine, Neo, said to me, if people are stealing your posts, do videos.
Yes.
It's difficult to steal videos. Then
That's true.
I ignored him. Then a young boy that I was mentoring from church, Ulungelo, came and started a YouTube channel in my name.
Yes, I remember.
You remember?
Yes.
Started the YouTube channel in my name and said, let me take videos of you talking.
Yeah.
And I said, but I'm too busy for this YouTube thing yet. But be that as it may, he came without fail to my house every week, took a video, put it on YouTube. When we reached 1,000, we even did one at your house at some point.
Yes,
He followed me to your house at some point, right? So he then, when we reached 1,000 subscribers, which means when we got monetized.
Yes.
See what I did there? When we got monetized, he gave me the login details of the YouTube channel and said, see what you do with it. If you don't like it, I don't care. I've paid you back for your mentorship.
Yes.
Then last year, a friend of mine came with camera equipment to me and said to me, you're going to start doing podcasting because I heard you speaking on radio. Then I said, not this thing again. Then he said, okay, don't worry, I'll bring you your first guest. Then he brought the guest, Noctula, and gave me the equipment. He even brought the team to record us. We did our first podcast, it was Noctula. The second one was you, actually, last year, August.
Yes.
The thing blew up, and now we are almost at 30,000 subscribers now.
Wow.
On that podcast. Right? Where we interview game changers, entrepreneurs. I mean, I was looking at the list of people that I've interviewed. A lot of those people are multi-millionaires.
Absolutely.
And successful business people.
Yeah. It's like a library.
If they are not that, they're definitely going to be based on the trajectory of the work that they're doing.
Yes.
Okay, sure. Obviously, YouTube is monetized. Now, what gift am I refining? I've been refining the gift still of communication, but now the gift of asking the right questions.
Yes.
Because the quality of your questions now determine the quality of the answers that you're going to get.
Absolutely.
You understand? So, which means now that part, because YouTube pays for that. Then we said, because YouTube pays, and because we've got the right mix of people that are coming to our program, we can literally use this to mine and charge companies, people
Yes.
to advertise on our product, because the people who watch our program and the people who come there have got money to buy property.
Absolutely.
It's people who have money. You understand? So which means even if you have a product you want to place there, you are sure these are the people that are going to buy because they've got the money.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
So now it's something else that has been created. That is another wing of monetizing.
Yes.
It's an extension of the book. But before we did that, we also remember when we used to do most of the work together.
Yes,
We did a lot of our monetizing
yes,
work together.
Yes, absolutely.
And we talked about a tour. Hey, when I was going through divorce, spoke of. And we talked about the fact that I need to get my mind off things.
Yes.
And we talked about me going on tour across the country.
Yeah.
I've done 18 cities twice in South Africa.
Yeah.
Doing business seminars like this.
Yes.
People were paying for those. Getting other speakers. What is that? Monetization.
It's monetization.
It's an extra wing of what we do.
Yeah.
So
now you've even gone international as well, don't forget.
I've gone international. I mean, I had a filled-up show in Namibia just 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
Right? So all of that speaks to being able to look at your gift and say, how do we expand the gift? And by the way, these are a way of networking. If I'm here, there are so many entrepreneurs in the room. If I'm talking here, there are people that I can connect. I'm looking for my tribe.
Yes.
I'm looking for people that are going to say, let's connect, let's work. Be it on the advertising, marketing, branding side.
Absolutely.
Or be it on the business property development side. So all of it, you are saying, how do I extend myself as a brand personally and as a brand as a business?
Yes. Wow. I love that. I love that.
So if you look at, let's say it's more than just money online. On Facebook, it even has more followers than me.
Yes. Yes.
So meaning the brand has extended itself far beyond me. On YouTube, personally, I have 600 subscribers. 600, me. It's more than just money has got almost 30,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
So which means now having built a personal brand, you're also building a brand that can extend itself beyond you.
True.
Because that's what it's about. Tomorrow, if I'm not available, you can come and do interviews.
Exactly.
That thing has got nothing to do with Witness Mtag.
Yeah, because the platform is there.
The platform is independent of who started it.
Yes.
And that's what monetization for me is about.
Yeah.
Building things that can far exist without you.
Excellent. No, that's really brilliant. I know that we've got some questions on the floor, so please feel free. You can stand up, introduce yourself, and feel free to ask your question.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Alessa. So I just need to take you guys a little bit back. Witness, you did mention that a lot of entrepreneurs, or black people rather, don't want to sell because of the fear of rejection. So I want to know, how can you advise an entrepreneur that is starting at the bottom how to deal with the fear of rejection? And then the second question that I had, which just came up now, is how do you separate yourself as an individual and you as a brand?
Go for it, Witty.
That's a nice one. Yeah? I'll start with the last question. How do you separate yourself as an individual and yourself as a brand? Good question. You know, people always say to me, how do you seem so relaxed when so many people know you and you are somewhat some sort of a celebrity? I'm detached from that. Detached in a sense that there is Witness Mtaka, the brand is doing his work. But there's Witness Mtaka, who's a human being, who needs his space,
Yes.
who needs to be with his friends, who needs to be with his family. I'm totally aware of that. So I separate myself from the guy who's working and the guy who needs to be an individual and be himself. Like, I can't always be property everywhere I go. Even when I'm talking to my grandmother, property. I need to separate myself from that, isn't it?
Yeah.
And be able to wear a cap. I'm working, wear a cap. I'm a father, I'm a brother, I'm a
Yes.
uncle. All of that are important. And then secondly, the fear of rejection. You know, buffaloes, when you watch, I like watching these documentaries on animals. When you look at buffaloes, whenever there's a storm, they don't run away from it. They run towards it so that the storm can pass quickly. You know, so the quicker you overcome the fear of rejection, the better. So how do you do that? If you know that you are afraid of rejection, put yourself where you are rejected at least once a day. Start by asking for something simple. Hey, T, can I have your water? No, you can't have my water. Yo, okay. Next one. Things that you know for a fact that somebody can either say yes and they can either say no. You'll realize quickly how much that doesn't actually take away anything from you. Now, you look at people like me. I do stuff publicly, right? So I'm well aware that if I fail at something, it means I'm failing publicly.
Yes.
It means if I say I'm starting a YouTube channel, right? And by the way, I'm not blowing my own horn, but I'm the best business interviewer in this country.
Yes. That's
Right?
how it's.
So,
Those are my friends, by the way.
yeah. And that's a fact. The numbers are saying it. It's not entertainment what we are doing. We are interviewing business people with the biggest and with the best.
And it's easy to go the entertainment route, eh?
It's easy to
The
go in
clickbait, it's so easy.
because entertainment will bring numbers,
Yeah.
right? But the reason why I'm saying it publicly, you know what I'm doing? I'm showing you intentional. I'm deliberate. So that some among you can say, yo, why born? You know that what becomes just an opinion.
Yeah.
Because it's neither here nor there. That no that you receive is the same thing as why born. At the end of the day, is somebody saying something about you. It doesn't kill you. And you always discover something about yourself when you get that no. You know, in our business, right? I'm training a team of young guys on sales because we've got a digital marketing part of our business.
Yeah.
And every day they're pitching
Yes.
through proposals, cold calling. And one guy said to me, I've sent out a proposal and they've sent a response via email. They said no. And I said, Chief, that's actually,
That's brilliant.
that's brilliant. You know what they're saying? They're saying you are worthy of being responded to. So your job is then to sit down and craft a counter email and offer them something else that they can say yes to.
Absolutely.
The fact that they're saying no, it means they're giving you attention. Can you imagine you emailed Microsoft and the marketing director of Microsoft sees it fit to respond to you who's from Deep Sloot? That's a compliment.
It's an achievement.
Can you see that? They're complimenting you. They're saying, despite who you are and where you come from, you are worthy of a response. So a no is actually somewhat a compliment. For me, that is.
Absolutely.
I see it as a compliment. I mean, I'll give you an example. There's one client of ours. I call them a client now. We pitched something to them. They said no. And then I said, okay, I'm offering to interview your CEO through the It's More Than Just Money platform. They said, yes, I can interview the CEO. We went, I interviewed the CEO. During lunchtime, I'm passing, and the CEO says, has so-and-so who's part of product development spoken to you? And I said, no. And the CEO said, I've arranged a meeting for you. That thing you pitched, he would like to discuss with you. Because I could have said, they said no.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that no was an opening to a discussion. You want to always be having those discussions. It's like when you're talking to those of you who are married, you want to go somewhere in Limachita, and your wife says no. Do you just receive it fair? Gents, do you just say, baby, we say no? We persuade, isn't it? So
Yeah.
business is about persuasion.
Yeah.
Life itself is about persuasion. There's constantly someone saying no. We put out 100 proposals. And in those proposals, we had 10 no's and 2 yeses. From 100.
Yeah.
100. So which means we've developed the capacity, 1, to be okay with being ignored. 2, to be okay with receiving a no. And yes, being excited for that 1 yes that comes. You don't say, 1 yes out of 100. It's good. Celebrate it.
Yeah. Exactly. And it's a numbers game. You know, when you figure out how many no's you need to go through to get to your yes, then a no is like, oh, that's great. I'm one step closer to my yes.
Absolutely.
If I'm averaging 10 no's before my yes, it means great. I've got 9 more no's to go, but I'm going to get my yes very soon. And that's how I look at the numbers game. And let me tell you a secret, guys, that nobody will tell you. Your faves online, your people that you're following and all of, there is no stage in your journey that you reach where you do not get no's anymore. There is no stage in your journey that you reach. Your no's, they just get bigger. Sometimes they even get more embarrassing. But there is no stage where you do not get no's anymore. So let's just get comfortable with it, that it's actually a part of the journey. And the more you're comfortable with it, the better. Likewise, we send proposals out all the time, emails out all the time, conversations all the time. Sometimes a conversation can start this year, but you see the fruits next year. So you cannot give up along the journey as well. All right, great. I know that there's another question on the floor. Please introduce yourself and go for it.
Okay, hi guys. My name is Kinewe Mbadi, and I'm the founder and owner of Machete Beauty Salon. My question is that, as we all know that as business owner, like you are emphasizing that we ought to be monetizers. Now, I want to understand that as you are a monetizer, is there some sort of identifying yourself? Because sometimes you might identify yourself as an entrepreneur or as a hustler, right? And then does it also have an impact in the long life of your monetization? Because I've realized that in most cases, we ought to identify ourselves as hustlers. And I'm like, okay, hustling can be seasonal, you don't put a lot of effort in it. You don't put a lot of effort in advertising also, because you don't see a long life of it. So can a monetizer also be a hustler, or we need to look at it in a more point of being an entrepreneur, so that you put more effort in it, growing it, as you have mentioned, that look at that one business that you want to grow, and then monetize other skills that you might have, or look at other aspects of making money in that sense?
Yeah, that's a great question. Witty, I'm going to start with it and hand it to you, Ne. For me, one of the things I really want to emphasize to all of you is that the word becomes flesh. Whatever you call yourself is exactly how we're going to perceive you. That's why I'm Hetty the entrepreneur. I'm not Hetty the talker. I'm not Hetty the influencer. I'm not Hetty the content creator. I'm not Hetty the sister. I'm Hetty the entrepreneur because I work with entrepreneurs, because I am an entrepreneur, because I've built a network and community of entrepreneurs. That's why we're all together in this room as entrepreneurs. So what you call yourself is exactly how people are going to receive you, and they are going to perceive you. If you are Busi the MC, people are going to call you for MC gigs. They're not going to call you to be a keynote speaker. So whatever it is that you tell people you are is exactly how they are going to receive you. Do not be afraid to carve a niche for yourself in terms of what you do. As Witness has said, once you've carved that niche for yourself, you can develop different branches and expressions of that niche, where you can, whether it's podcasting, whether it's writing a book, whether it's having templates, whether it's masterclasses, whether it's a product, whether it's a service, whatever it may be, whether it's support groups, it can be anything, but it is first rooted in something. If we don't know what you do, uzoba, hey, usisi lona wama week. The next week, we have a life. Then the following week, do you understand what I'm saying? We don't know who you are. We don't know what you do. We don't know when to call you for what. Because we're now, you do everything. So it's very, very important, actually, for us to distinguish ourselves very, very well. Have a coined phrase that you are able to do. To this day, Witness will do these videos of word of the day.
Yeah,
now, you cannot even walk down the street without somebody saying, Witty, what's the word of the day? There's an intentionality behind that. Now where you've got something within you that you can coin for yourself, that makes you unique, that makes you different. When we did the workshop, Esoshanguve, Monetize Your Business Workshop, Esoshanguve, the gentleman who won the pitch, he calls himself the Eggman. Abantu abasamazi nengama, nobody even calls him Tebogo anymore. No, it's the Eggman. You need eggs, contact the Eggman. You understand? So really think about, what do I want to be known for? What do I want to be remembered for? And then you build your business or your personal brand around that. Witty, what do you say about that? Because you've done it fabulously with, it's more than just money, your movement, your tour, your book, everything.
So I like what you said when you said, whatever you call yourself,
Yeah,
you actually manifest that.
yeah.
So I'm guessing you're saying monetization, they go hand in hand, isn't it? Remember I said, when I introduced myself, I said, I am a child of God who wants to serve God's other children.
Yeah,
So, which means, for me, I'm constantly looking at what can I do to serve God's other children?
yeah,
Because if I'm a child of God that wants to serve God's other children, it means what am I serving them?
yes,
So that speaks to having your base. My base has been property.
yes.
But also people don't know this. I've got a double major in marketing. I'm not successful at social media by mistake. I'm good at it.
True.
I studied it.
Yeah.
You understand? So which means the marketing brain always becomes the base of anything that I'm doing.
Absolutely.
So the question will always be, what's your base? You know, we once had a spaza shop, a friend of mine and his brother introduced me to the concept of having a base. Your base is the one business that you are known for, and from that business you can expand into other services. When you look at some of the biggest companies in the world, they're known for one thing, but they do another.
Yes.
Right? You know McDonald's as a franchise business, but McDonald's is the largest property owner company in the world.
Yes.
They own the most property in the world, right? So which means their base is food, their other business is property.
Yes.
So as a person who's an entrepreneur, what's your base? What's that business that you're good at? If you say hustler, right? It means you sell everything. So you must identify as a retailer, isn't it? Akithi wena uthengisa yonke into. Ama-outward uyathengisa, iskip uyathengisa. So put it all under one umbrella and say, I'm that person who sells everything. There's nothing wrong with it.
True. Or I can make things happen.
I can make things happen, but identify it and say, because I sell everything, let's put it under one umbrella. I've got a chapter in my book called Formalize Your Informal Business.
Yes.
The things that you do informally, how can you put them together and they all become different income streams within your business? This is the sales for Maotwana. This is the sales for t-shirts. This is the sales for property. This is the sales for talking. This is all of that. You can have them under one umbrella and have it as a business. Before you call yourself group of companies, calm down. Base.
Yes.
What's your base?
Yes.
Right? So when you look at the military, the military doesn't go everywhere capturing. They've got their base and they go capture, come back to the base.
True.
You've got your main business that is generating most of the money, and you must figure out at some point, one other business will become the base more than the other. Okay?
True.
One will make more than the other. You look at that and say, okay, now we're making more money here. This is our base. It feeds the other small enemy camps that we are capturing. Yes, Waga? Sharp.
Yeah, no, that's a brilliant explanation. Thank you. We've got another question on the floor.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Yeah, thank you. My question is specifically directed, it's really a comment more than anything. Just to introduce myself first, my name is Zukile. I'm from an organization called the Agency for Social Enterprise and the Solidarity Economy. So basically what we do is, well, you mentioned something about identifying a problem and then coming through with a solution. What we identified in our economy basically is the fact that how it was built. It was built for a certain group of people. However, they were empowered in a way that brought them together and then provided the means for them to actually prosper as a group, as a community. And we also come from communities where we basically, even if it's in the planting and all that in our rural towns, that people come together and they do things together and they share and all that. However, that has been taken away from us. And now what we see being pushed is the individualism. You push your own agenda, you push your own thing. Now our township economies are actually collapsing. Do you know why? The people that are actually running spazas in our communities, they have come together and then they actually use bulk purchasing and all that to push prices down and then push us out of that sector completely. Not just in Joburg and in major centers, but pretty much throughout the country. Now, how do we come together as a people, having identified that on the consumption side, we all come together. You know, we've got Stockfells, we've got this, we've got that, burial societies and all that. We are very good at coming together as consumers.
Yes.
How do we come together now on the production side?
As
so
producers.
that we can all prosper as a society, as a community, rather than you pushing your own agenda, we all doing the same thing, we all selling the same product. However, we don't talk to one another. Instead of getting together and then using that, bulk purchasing power to go and basically lobby with the producers and wholesalers to get our products at far more reduced cost, so that we can now be more competitive. And then we all share the surplus that we make out of that. Now, you mentioned what triggered this whole thing for me. You mentioned the fact that you and your friend owned a spaza and all that. And I'm saying, how do we now sort of drive the conversation a little bit, not saying let's move away from pursuing own individual multiple streams of income, but how do we as a collective, as a community, start working together so that we can all in the end prosper?
Great stuff. Witness, would you like to take that one as our final question?
Yeah, well, it's a good comment and a good question as well. And I want to speak to the words that he said. Self-interest. That people are pursuing their own self-interest. By the way, there's nothing wrong with pursuing your own self-interest, because we cannot partner with someone who's not skilled.
True.
Someone who's not prospering themselves. Because if one of you here is a successful entrepreneur, do you want to partner with people based on community, or do you want to partner with the best of the people? Let's be honest. The best, right?
Absolutely.
So, which means each and every one of us must pursue our self-interest and be the best of who we are. Then when we collaborate, at least it's the best people collaborating to push an agenda.
Yes.
Rather than a group of, anybody. Rather than a group of idiots pursuing an interest.
True.
The blind cannot lead the blind, isn't it?
Yeah.
But if all of us here, whatever it is that we are working on, we become the best at it. If you're a baker, you become the best baker for your community. Do it for your community. If you are the guy who's selling socks, become the best sock seller in the community.
Yeah.
If you're the guy that's building houses, become the best contractor in the community. If all of us here, whatever business we are pursuing, become the best at it, pursuing our own self-interest, then guess what? Our community has got the best builder, the best marketer, the best baker, the best cleaner, the best of everything. Then we come together and collaborate and say, how do we scale the economy?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that's a brilliant perspective. And unfortunately, it's brought us to the end of the fireside chat. Don't you feel like we could have talked the whole day? Right? It was really, really amazing. I know, okay, we will have another Q&A session a little bit later on in the program. At this juncture, Witty, I want to thank you for your time and for sharing your nuggets with us. We did actually have a conversation with Witness on the Monetize Your Business podcast conversations. It's on YouTube. So please go and subscribe on there and then also tune into that conversation because there's a lot more nuggets that Witness has shared as well. We will share his details with you. Follow him on all social media platforms. It's Witness Mdaga. Get his book as well. It's available online. And we will come back a little bit later to further unpack on this conversation. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Witness.
Thank you.